Welcome back to Spotlight Over the City, you guys. And guess what? We got us a plus two in the building. Family too, though, right? Doing some big things once again. A new project they came to announce. So I'm gonna let Wifey introduce.
Yes, y'all. I am very excited about this young man that's sitting to my left. I don't know. I guess if you're looking, it might be to your right. But I'm very excited to introduce both of these men to the platform, because in today's world, you all know when the pandemic started, everybody quit their jobs. Not everybody, but a lot of people left their jobs. And a lot of entrepreneurs now are just going crazy with amazing ideas. And a part of that process is people are getting franchise businesses. And today's guest, we go way back to high school, and he is now venturing out to do some amazing things on the entrepreneur side. I want you all to welcome to the show and give it up for the CEO and founder of Right Next Door, Mr. Hallie Williams, here to my left, y'all. Give it up.
Thanks for
having me. He brought along with him one of his franchisee business partners, Chris Johnson, over here to my right. In the building, y'all, give it up. Woo! Yes, so welcome to Spotlight Over the City.
When it comes to entrepreneurship, you know that's big for me. That's a big deal. I've been that since about 17 or something like that. So
yes.
It's a blessing to have you guys come on and talk about franchises, because I do love franchises. So
yes, and
I want to know about this. How did you even get started with this type of situation?
Right next door.
Yeah. And how did that name come about?
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about it.
So I grew up in franchising. My dad, my godfather, my stepdad was all in franchising.
Gotcha.
And so by growing up in franchising, I've seen the hardship of what it takes to run a franchise. So I've been a small business consultant. I went to engineering at Maryland and went back to business school at Howard. And so part of being at Howard Business School, they make us work in a small business development center, assisting small businesses. So I've been doing that for the last 20 years. And so the last 2 years, I've been focusing on franchise broker, which is working with aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners to get into franchising.
Wow.
Yes. And we need that.
We need more of that. Yes, y'all give it up for that.
So this is what we need, because we have to reach for our community and teach our community about money, how to get money, how to be independent and get money. So I love it. So let's talk about it.
An informed entrepreneur is your best client,
there
right?
You go. Yes, yes.
Tell us about
it. What does it take to be an informed entrepreneur?
Yeah, so what I do, especially with aspiring entrepreneurs, what we do is we walk them through the entire journey, from whether they have an idea, concept. And so what I like to do is, like you just mentioned earlier, I like to learn about your entrepreneurial journey,
right.
Or for your professional journey, because I have a lot of clients who've been in corporate America who's ready to make that pivot into entrepreneurship. So part of what you just described is me working with that corporate mindset and pivoting to an entrepreneur mindset, and then working with them to see what business models, what interests they have. But before we go too far, what I always tell them, think about the customer. Who are the territories and what are the needs of the customer, the problems, opportunities, needs, and goals, and that helps to formulate what business model will meet their needs. So that's what we do at Right Next Door.
But wait, so let me ask you this question, because I think this is something that I think people should know. What is the different mindset when it comes to corporate versus being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so the key is when in corporate, what we're taught in school and structure is to think this is the goal and project 5-10 years out. As an entrepreneur, as you know, we already think with the end in mind. This is my business. This is what I want to do. So then you have to think back and educate. And the challenge becomes when we bring on employees. So I'm going to put a pause to that. Okay. But what we have to do is bring our vision back to where we are now and then extrapolate how we get it there, what resources we need, how we want to strategically roll out our business idea and concept. So that's the unique skills that entrepreneurs have. And so when you pivoting people from that corporate mindset to entrepreneur mindset, it's a process. And so that's what we do at Right Next Door, is work them through that process.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a heavy need.
Yes.
So, Chris, you're a franchisee. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
So, I'm the owner of Fish Window Cleaning out of Northern Virginia. We're the #1 window cleaning company across the U.S.
Wait.
Keeping Northern Virginia
make sure y'all put your hands together real quick for that.
Yes.
Yes. So
when you came out, you said owner, though. It sounds good when you say it. One more time. Who are you again?
I'm the owner.
I'm
proud to say that.
The owner. So this is what I stress. We have to own our own products. We have to keep ownership.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure that's important.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a franchisee?
So I started right before you brought up about the pandemic. I started right before the pandemic, jumped in, had all these great ideas, and wham, got hit with the pandemic. But you still pursue. A lot of the things what Hallie just pointed out about being in the corporate world. I was in the corporate world for about 25 years, right? But there's a lot of skills that you can get from the corporate world, understanding how a business runs, understanding how how a business makes money, understanding how to find talent, bring talent into the organization, right? How to mentor people under you so that you can achieve your goals. You take all of that, you put it all together. Now you own the business, and now you running things, as opposed to somebody else running the business and they're telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Now I run the business. Now you get to call the shot. I call the shot.
But now you also have to work twice as hard, right?
Nah.
So now you have to go as hard, because if you don't make it work, who's gonna make it work?
You're absolutely right on that, right? But when you look at it from the standpoint of it's your business, you don't feel like you're working that hard because you're working for yourself.
For yourself.
So it's not really work when you work for yourself.
If you
it's
enjoy
work,
it,
but you enjoying it because it's your product. It's something that you're putting forward. So now your family can eat for generations off of this one product.
Wealth building.
The wealth building.
Exactly. So what is the most challenging thing about someone who wants to get their own franchise?
Yeah. So for me, a lot, like I said, it starts with that mindset, but also comes with the funding. And so our challenge is finding qualified candidates. And so I work with people, just find out, because now I'll take a step back with financing. People are used to hearing debt financing, putting up their home in order to finance their business.
Right.
But we have equity financing. There are other ways to finance a business, and so part of that is educating them on what are all the options, and then breaking up, decomposing how the different financial vehicles you may need. So if you starting with say for instance with Chris, he started with fish window cleaning. So his business have equipment, trucks. Equipment and trucks. So when you go in financing, you don't just think about just the overall cost of the business. You break it up. How much will you need for equipment? How much will you need for a truck, for leasing, the vehicles? What do you need for, line of credit? What kind of working capital you need, cash flow? So we work with entrepreneurs on decomposing those different financial components and then timelining them and providing them with those resources. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So how do people get involved? What do they need to do? Let's talk about how this all works before we wrap up this segment.
Yeah, like say you're coming from corporate, right?
Yeah.
Let's use that because a lot of people are in transition.
Yes.
So say you coming from corporate. First of all, congratulations to everybody who even deciding to do that. It takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
Yes,
to
indeed.
jump out there and become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So and so I salute you every single day. You already know. So at the end of the day, what is some of the big hurdles that they should expect, or how can you show them how to transition a little more smoothly? Because a lot of people are so nervous to do it that they never do it.
Yeah, totally fear management. I work with them, and that's the benefit of a franchise broker. We sit in between the entrepreneur and the franchise brands. And so a lot of people are familiar with just restaurants, but there are other franchise brands. And so what you just described, that's what Right Next Door did. So, so I tell you, visit our site, rightnextdoor.biz and rightnextdoor.loan. And so that's what we do. We work them through that entire journey from franchise discovery, identifying brands they're interested in, presenting them to the brands, helping them prepare for two milestones. One is the franchise discovery day, where they get to go visit the brands, meet the C-suite, the senior executives of the different brands, and then it's the franchise decision day, where they sign a franchise agreement. So those are the key milestones.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So let me ask you, because how did you feel when you first got to sign that agreement and you knew you were getting ready to be what you say an owner, right, for the first time? And what were one of the big obstacles that you faced in that transition?
So it was a couple things. I was excited because I'm owning my own business, but there's a lot of things where you're kind of nervous, right? I'm jumping out here, and now it's all on me, right? But another thing is, as Hallie pointed out, having somebody like a franchise broker to kind of walk you through that process, help you understand options for financing, helping you understand the broker day, the decision day, understanding all of those pieces. Those are the types of things that kind of help you ease into the process. Also, understanding when you're working with the franchisor, is there a fit? It's like a relationship. Do I kind of fit with this franchisor?
Right.
And if you fit there, then you just kind of go and move forward.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So how can they follow you guys and make sure that they stay locked in? And because everybody out there, a lot of people are in transition. A lot of people are feeling like, I wish I knew the steps to take to get out there, because I've never been an entrepreneur. And it makes you a little frightened when you've always had what we call dependence or comfort. Right? So it's time to get out of that comfort zone and create something for your own and your family. And so when able to do that, you get with this company right here, and they will show you how to mesh that transition and make it a comfortable one.
Yes,
and
indeed.
That's a need too, though, because when I was young, I didn't have that. We just had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm really, really happy to have someone like you and Chris, you being an example of how it, the success of it, doing what you're doing.
On your success too.
And I hope you all really take advantage of this. I know I will be.
Yes.
So for one last time, wrap it up and let them know how they can take advantage of your program.
Yep.
So and where they can find you on social media, wherever.
Definitely. So definitely follow us on Instagram and Facebook at rightnextdoor.biz, as well as on our site rightnextdoor.biz and rightnextdoor.loan. The top right button, hit contact us, provide your contact information, and one of our consultants will reach out to you and start you on your entrepreneurial journey and franchise.
Yay! I love it, y'all.
So,
please give it up one more time for
together.
Hallie Williams and Chris Johnson. Y'all get out there and be some boss entrepreneurs, okay? Make us proud. Boss up.
Yeah, black excellence.
We have, yes, y'all give it up one last time. Woo! We got a really quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our next guest. We're going to talk about this overnight cookout.
The overnight cookout.
The overnight.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Hallie. Thank you, Chris.
There you go.